Hi, this is Lamisha from The Perfect Space, and today we will be talking about deliveries for your party rental company. Sorry, I meant to make this video earlier, but in between the storm that we had and me trying to get the website together for this page, I've just been swamped. So I am in the office today putting away inventory, and I decided, okay, this is the perfect time to do this, especially because I just had deliveries and pickups this weekend, and it's almost always something new that may pop up that you don't already have an answer for. So I want to at least give you some things to consider when you are deciding on if you're going to do deliveries for your party rental company. So, number one, you want to think about and decide what area you want to have something in place that lets people know that, okay, we deliver only up to this amount of miles, or some people do like this city, this city, this city, if you want to do it that way. I know for me at first, when I first started, I was trying to be Superwoman and going all of these places really, really far. And it was just a lot on me, especially because you have to go back and pick up the items too. So, um, right now we are set for only 15 miles away from our location. And another good thing with that for me is because, we also use this location to throw events um, inside as well. So it's not just party rentals. So I need to be able to go and do a delivery and make it back and set up for my event and have enough time to do all of that. So the 15 miles for me was great. You can go out, you can go in more, but for me, 15 miles was great. So again, think about the mileage that you want to have for your business, for your party rental business. Secondly, I would come up with the fees, you know, because another thing you want to think about is you are leaving your location, driving to them. You have to then drive from them back to your location or home or whatever the situation may be. And then the next day or whenever, then go back to them, pick it up, and then come back to your location. So that's really like 4 trips. So you don't want to only charge for dropping it off and picking it up. You have to still, once you drop it off, you have to still come back. You still have to go to them to pick it up and still come back. So you want to have a nice number. And for me, um, we just do $1 a mile. You know, before we used to do about 50 cents when I had a smaller vehicle. But now that my vehicle is a little bigger, I can put more in it. It also takes more gas. So for us, it's $1 a mile, but it's times four, so because again, we go there, we come back, we go there, we come back. So that's something to think about. Come up with something that you're comfortable with, because you don't want to overcharge. And then, like the vehicle we just have an extended Dodge Grand Caravan, and the seats go onto the floor, so it's really, really nice. It's really spacious in the back, but it's still certain things that we can't put in there. So you don't want to charge something too ridiculous, because it's some stuff you can't put in there. Plus, you can only put so much compared to people with like the transit vans or box trucks. They can charge more. It takes more gas. They're able to fit more in there, so they can do everything in one trip, or they can just have everything that you need. So that is something to consider too. Starting off, if you don't have the money to get like a big vehicle, I mean, really, that's fine. At first, I started off with a Dodge Caliber. But you'd be surprised how much I was able to get around in that Dodge Caliber. So think about that. Another thing too to think about is your times, your delivery times, because sometimes you may need to go back late at night to pick up the items. For us, we don't do late pickups. Um, but, there's a lot of companies that do. So that is something that you can offer and maybe charge more for doing it, because, sometimes people have events until midnight and they can't leave your stuff at the venue, and the venue is saying, like, this stuff has to be out of there. um, Sometimes, though, venues do understand that a lot of companies won't come back and pick it up late at night. So sometimes they don't have an issue with it being there and they'll let you come back the next day. However, if they won't allow the client to do that, then you may want to tell the client, like, hey, you may have to put this stuff in your own vehicle, take it home, and either you can drop it off or we'll pick it up. If it's a lot of stuff and they have small cars or something like that and they can't deliver it back to you, um, again, like if it's a wedding or something like that and there's just a lot of stuff, their friends can put this stuff in their vehicles and take it to their house and just drop it off, and then we can come to them to pick it up. But again, me personally, I do not do late pickups. I mean, it's too late. I'm not trying to be out, that late. I'm not trying to be driving when it's all dark. I mean, that's just me. If you don't have a problem with doing that, then by all means, you go right ahead. Um, let's see. Another thing you want to think about too. Oh, my computer just went off. Another thing you want to think about too, is, let's say you are delivering some things to an apartment and they're on the second floor and there's no elevator. You can only get up there through stairs. You definitely want to charge extra for that. If there's stairs, if there's, I don't know, like even if you're delivering stuff, but it's a lot of stuff to some place that's on the second floor, and even if there's an elevator, if if you can't fit a lot of stuff on that elevator, if it's a really, really small elevator and it's just not a lot of stuff that you can bring in there with you, you still want to charge extra for that too. Any little inconvenience that may be on your part, you want to make sure you charge them for that. I mean, you don't have to charge an arm and a leg, but at the end of the day, this is still a business. We're still people. We have to worry about our own health and making sure that we can carry these heavy items and stuff like that. Think about your back and your feet and your legs and your arms and all of that stuff when you're delivering these items. This is things that people don't really think about when they want you to deliver stuff to them. But whether you're by yourself or you're with someone else, it still doesn't matter. That strain is being put on you. So if you're trying to carry something heavy and you have to go up some stairs or something like that, yes, you want to be compensated for that. So another thing you want to think about when delivering too, number one, you also want to always establish who you are releasing the items to. Um, for example, it can be like your client can be, um, I don't know, a son, and he's getting some stuff because his parents don't know how to, order things and all of that, but it's supposed to get delivered to their house or to a location where your client won't be there first. And you want to always make sure that you're delivering things to the right person, because you don't ever want to just give your stuff away because somebody be like, oh, well, I mean, this person just gave it to me, and can walk away with it. So you want to always make sure you know you have a good point of contact of who will be there to meet you to receive the items. And what I personally do, I require identification. Some people feel some type of way about it, but the way I feel about that is, I mean, it's my stuff. And I want to make sure that if anything happened to it, I can be able to go to the police with your information to get my stuff back. If you don't plan on doing anything, wrong, what's the problem? I'm not asking for your social security number or anything like that. So, yes, I require identification. And I also require identification for the person who I'm releasing it to, because you just don't want to be in a situation where you gave your stuff to someone thinking it was somebody else. Maybe, they told you to give it to John and you get there and there's more than one John. So you want to make sure you're giving it to the right person. So keep that in mind. Another thing too is you can offer setting up items. Right now we don't. We used to before COVID hit, but then COVID hit and it was like, okay, I really didn't want to be around so many people, so we'll drop your stuff off. If you have any questions on how to set it up, just give us a call, or we would send them like manuals and stuff like that, because we used to have tents. But then, like I said, COVID hit and I stopped. And now that we are, I guess, in an okay place as far as COVID, I still don't offer setup, only because I don't have the time. Me personally, I don't have the time. So, like I said, I have to hurry up and get back for an event, or, I mean, anything. So, I just don't have that time. So, for me, how I deliver it to you is how I need to get it back. If I delivered chairs and tables to you and they're folded up, they need to be folded up when I come back. If I delivered Chiavari chairs or any other type of stacking chairs, they need to be stacked up when I get back to pick them up. Because if not, that's more work on you. It's more time that's being wasted by you breaking down the tables or folding up the chairs and stacking up the chairs and all of that. No, you need to make sure that it's in your contract, or you just let them know that how you give the items to them is how you need to receive them back. Okay, so I mean, really, that's a big one. Also, let's say again back to a wedding. You dropped it off at one location because this was the location of the ceremony, but then they moved the stuff to a different location for the reception, and that's where you need to go back to pick it up. So make sure you know that. Make sure you calculate the miles if you need to. Like if it's not just up the street, if it's in a few towns over or something like that, make sure you get that information so you'll know how to charge them or how to go about that as well. My last tip would be to always make sure that your client pays ahead of time. You don't ever want to be in a situation where they're like, okay, I'll pay you when you drop off the items. I know sometimes when you just start off and people don't really know you, you try to work with their terms, but you just, again, you don't ever want to be in a situation where you got all of this stuff. Even if you got a deposit, you got all of this stuff, and then you're driving far, even if it's up the street, it doesn't matter. And then you get there, and then they no longer want it. And then you just wasted your time and your gas going up there. If you have employees that you're paying to do these deliveries or whatever, you still have to pay them. So you want to always make sure that you get paid in advance. And let's say someone just really, really has cash, and that's how they want to pay for their items. In situations like that, have something in your contract where you at least require them to pay for your delivery fees, even if you get there to deliver the items and then they decide that they canceled their event, so they no longer need the delivery at all. So make sure you have that in place as well. So I hope that was helpful. I think I covered the majority of the delivery section in my contract. If you guys have your own company and you have your own delivery rules that I did not cover, please leave me a comment below with that information. I would love to read them because I'm constantly always updating my contracts. New things happen and come up all the time that you aren't always prepared for, and you don't really know what to do in that situation. So, um, again, if you guys have some things that I did not talk about, please let me know. I'd really love to read them. So, thank you, and till next time. Bye.